few months ago, Daniel Chong from UC San Diego was arrested at a party that he was at. There was a drug bust by the DEA, and they actually found 18,000 pills of ecstasy, along with other drugs, several guns, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. However, after he was placed in a DEA cell, they found that he had absolutely nothing to do with the drug activity or the criminal activity, so they basically found that he was innocent. However, they kept him in the cell for 4 days and literally forgot about him. They didn't feed him, they didn't bring him water, he was handcuffed the entire time, and it got so bad that when they found him 4 days later, he was laying in his own defecation, and he had to go to the hospital for many very serious injuries, including kidney failure, dehydration, cramps, and perforated esophagus. So, I mean, just horrendous conditions that he was in. He said that he had to drink his own urine to survive, and he spent 5 days in the hospital as a result of this. Now, we reported on this story when it first broke, and the update is that the Department of Justice has awarded him a $4.1 million settlement.
Ooh.
That's significant.
That buys a lot of bottled water.
I like how that's the first thing you thought about.
Well, obviously, like, the angle of him having to drink his own urine is what makes people so like, oh my God, this sucks.
Yeah.
But like, he's in there for 4 days. Depending on your health, it's not impossible that he could have died there. He could have died of dehydration or related injuries. Mm-hmm. And also, like, we sometimes talk about getting money for psychic trauma. Think about, like, for the first day, you're like, okay, I'm in prison. This is absolutely horrible. The second day, oh, maybe they're trying to, like, get me to talk or something. By the third and fourth day, he thinks that he's going to die in there. He thinks that he is never going to get out. That could cause permanent psychic damage.
I'd be completely bonkers. If you left me locked in a cell for an hour, I'd be, give me 60 minutes, I would have pooped all over myself, just out of control.
It's devastating.
But can we just talk about the 4.1 million? Because I do think that's kind of interesting. Do you guys, because that's about $1 million a day, and then they tacked on the extra 0.1 million. Do you think that's basically a fair settlement here? It actually sounds to me like a kind of like sensible number related to this.
I don't know how they got to that number. I mean, I would like have to sit down and, like, you know, listen to the agreement and the settlement and figure out why they came to that number. So I feel weird judging that. But when I did read the story, the first thing I thought about was, would I do it? For $4.1 million?
What would Anna do?
4 days.
Now, he lost 15 pounds in 4 days. Remember, he's scared. He thinks he's going to die. It's just, of course, a terrible situation.
Yeah, we don't mean to be glib about it, obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would attempt it.
We do mean to be
going by your way of testing, like, would I do it for this amount of money? I would say that it's probably too much money. Aside from the fact that you might die, I would do it for far less. And so going by that logic, it seems like he probably was overpaid, but it is the worst thing that will ever happen in his life, probably. And if they think it's worth the money, I'm sure it'll go a long way towards making him not want to kill himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I mean, joking aside, I don't think we can possibly fathom what that is like. I mean, can you imagine what 1 day is like? I think we can.
Ted Nugent did it
of no
just
eating,
just to you know, avoid going to war. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he was like eating burritos and stuff. Like, I gotta hurry this process up.
Terrible. I love mentioning Ted Nugent crapping in his pants every opportunity I get.
Yeah. But yeah, we obviously feel horrible for him. Like, I feel like we can make a couple of jokes just because thankfully he's been taken care of by the criminal justice system, which so often does not take care of people who've been abused by the police. Thank God for this kid's sake, he was Asian and not a black individual.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have given him the $4 million in that case.
Really? So you think that they gave him more money?
In the American justice system? He's lucky he didn't die in there.
In the American justice system, they would find out that he's innocent, they would keep him there if he was black.
If he was Muslim, he'd be in there until today.
He'd be at Gitmo, yeah.